Hello and welcome back to another day trip in Switzerland. This video is part 2 of a two-part video about a round trip around Switzerland. If you haven't seen that video yet, check the video, the link is on the top right corner of your screen now. So, in the first video, we departed Neuchâtel at 6:26 in the morning, and after changing trains in Zurich and in Chur, we just changed trains again in Disentis Münster. We are now on a Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn train all the way from Disentis down to Andermatt. The first part of this ride is going to take us from Disentis up to the Oberalppass, climbing from 1130 meters to 2044 meters, to one of the highest rail passes in Europe, and then onwards, starting the roller coaster-like descent to Andermatt. But more on that later in the video. Despite also being a narrow gauge railway, as Reichienbahn that we saw on our last video, the Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn uses a third rack rail in the middle of the track to allow our train to operate on steeper grades than a conventional train. This will allow us to reach the Oberalppass in a bit over half an hour.
When they love you too much, now it's fame fake.
As you can see, the scenery is nothing short of spectacular. While we see the snow closing in on us as we steadily climb, passing small villages awakening from winter and getting ready for spring.
Taking this design to know and don't wait.
We finally gain enough height that the snow catches up to us, or us to it, and the scenery transforms itself from spring to winter again, like we went back in time and Christmas was almost here. You know you're high in the mountain when our train starts entering the avalanche galleries, that allow for year-round service and protect our train. As we leave this first gallery, we seem to have been transported to a world of light and white, even making it difficult to open our eyes. As we enter the second gallery, we are almost at the top, and in no time we reach the Oberalppass station. I know you can't see it now, but actually there's a lake here. There's a huge lake here. But now it's just ice and snow. You can see Oberalppass. We can see here where we started, in Disentis, passed through Cedrum, and now here on the Oberalppass. And now we are going to slowly start descending, and we have all these curves to negotiate down to Andermatt, where our trip on this train is ending. Then we are getting on another train that is going to take us from Andermatt, Realp, Furkatunnel, Oberwald, and then all the way to Brig. We stay here for a couple of minutes, waiting for a train coming from the opposite direction, and then start moving again, almost like floating above this white blanket of snow. I've passed through here in summer and autumn, and it's like a totally different place, with all the green and the milky blue waters of the lake, now frozen. These houses high in the mountain are almost certainly summer shelters for the animals that are brought up here to graze on the fresh grass until autumn. We again see the road that not so long ago was still closed due to snow, and we even get a glimpse of a small avalanche that happened earlier that day on the mountain opposite to the one we're on. We get the first glimpse of the valley we're descending into, and the curves on the road that will accompany us down to Andermatt. Oh, and we even had the chance of crossing a beautiful Glacier Express with its characteristic red livery and big panoramic windows. Also here we get to see the third rack rail in the middle of the track that will help us descend safely to Andermatt. As we really start to descend, you can clearly hear the rack and pinion gear working to keep us from sliding down the hill. The gradient is steep, but on camera hard to show you exactly how much it really is. Looking further down the mountain, we are able to see the track we will be using in a couple of minutes. It will take us 30 minutes from the Oberalppass station to Andermatt, and in the process we will lose about 600 meters in elevation. I'll shut up for now and let you enjoy the scenery. After many turns left and right, we get an overview of the station we are heading to. Houses by the line announce our soon-to-happen arrival and the end to leg 4 of our trip around Switzerland. So we just arrived at Andermatt and perfectly on time again. That's bright. Our next train is in about 15 minutes. So we have a little bit of time. Just gonna film a bit here on the station and then we'll get on our next train. So that is train number 4 done. Everything on time, no problems. As you were able to see on the video, just amazing landscapes. Just lots of snow on the Oberalppass, and then the descent to Andermatt is just on another level. It's so beautiful. Our next train was already waiting in platform 4, and it's this DH44 that's going to push us all the way to Brig, as light snow keeps falling on this mid-April spring day. As the departure time approached, I decided to take a seat on the warm train. Soon after, we were on our way, on what is the longest leg of our day trip, just short of 2 hours to cover the 70 kilometers separating Andermatt from Brig. In all honesty, this was probably the leg that was less enjoyable. After the amazing scenery we had before, this seemed meh in comparison, and if to that you add a not so comfortable seat and the longest of the trips, you get the idea. Still, the scenery is nice, don't get me wrong, but even for Glacier Express passengers, this is usually considered the less spectacular part of the trip. In Rialp, we get to see the car trains that allow you to avoid the Furka and transport you under the mountain to Oberalppass. The pass is closed in winter, and in summertime it takes you about 20 minutes by train and 45 by road. Diverting to the right is the old Furka line, now only used for tourist trains when the weather allows it, replaced by the Furka tunnel we now enter. So when the tunnel was finished, it was really important because it allowed for year-round operation of trains that until then was not possible during winter or when there was really bad weather.
I do? Do I go for a walk?
The tunnel is 15 kilometers long and it takes us 15 minutes to cross it. We get off the tunnel on Canton Valais and we almost immediately stop in Oberwald. So now that we left the Furka tunnel behind us, we still have quite a bit to go because this train takes about 2 hours from Andermatt to Brig, and the landscape, we are still surrounded by mountains and snow, but it's a little bit more flat, not as mountainous as it was before. So let's just enjoy and relax. The slow pace of the train gives us time to check our socials, work a bit if we want to, or just take a nap if you woke up at 4 in the morning as I did. I'll let you enjoy the scenery and we'll come back when we reach Brig.
I'm staring at the ground, stepping over eggshells spread all around. So tell me, what can I do? Do I tiptoe around to pick up a broom? Can we sweep up this mess, or did we make a minefield out of our dress? Do you feel alone in our home? 'Cause I feel alone.
Welcome to Brig main station, where we arrived 1 minute earlier than what we were supposed to. So everything went fine. 2 hours after Andermatt. It was not the most interesting of rides, but it was still a great ride. So we have our train in about 25 minutes, I think. So we'll just hang around on the station until it's time for boarding. As we say goodbye to our train, we had the chance to spot an Orion train, the next generation of rolling stock for regional operation on the Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn network. So here in Brig we actually have 2 stations. This one, where I just left, has the narrow gauge railways from Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn, and then you have the main one up there where you have the standard gauge railways from SBB, and that's where we are about to go. Brig main station isn't very big, but sees a lot of trains every day, from regional to intercity to international traffic. You also see a lot of freight trains, being Brig on one of the most important axes for north-south movement of goods. Our train is the IR90 at 1457 from track 7.
You promised me roses and hungry haze, but
It's really windy here in Brig, and our train is already here, so we might as well board and just take a seat. So let's go! If you travel this route in this direction, I advise you to sit on the left side for the best views of Lake Le Mans. As soon as we depart to our right, you can see the track leading to the south ramp of the Lochberg. This was the main line connecting the Bern and Valais canton until the opening of the Lochberg base tunnel in 2007. You can see the track spectacularly climbing the mountain to our right in the first minutes of departure from Brig. A bit after, also to the right, you get to see the south portal of the aforementioned Lochberg base tunnel. We will now follow the Rhone River until Lake Le Mans by what's known as the Upper Rhone Valley.
much to lose. Now lay me in the wilderness.
So we'll be about an hour and a half on this train, and this trip is mostly flat. We're on the plain of the Rhone River, so we just follow the river up until Lake Le Mans, and then we go on the shores of Lake Le Mans up until Lausanne train station. This is also the largest wine region of Switzerland, so the view is always interesting with all the vines on the slopes of the mountains around, where 55 different grape varieties are cultivated.
Don't make me do it, 'cause
Suddenly, we abandon the green of the fields for the blue Lake Le Mans and the most visited castle in Switzerland, Schillen Castle.
I got too much to lose.
On the other side of the lake is France, and this side is known as the Riviera Vaudoise, dotted by beautiful villages and vineyards that have attracted wealthy and famous people from all over the world. Welcome to Lausanne train station, again on time. This was the 6th train of 7, so we only have one more train to get. The next connection to Neuchâtel is in about 30 minutes, so we have a little bit of time. So I'm gonna wander around a bit on the train station. Lausanne train station is currently being renovated, and major work will be made in the next decade to completely uplift this major train hub in the Swiss network. So our train is already here on the platform. We still have 25 minutes till the departure time, but we'll just board and choose a seat while it's empty. Let's go. So I'm already installed on my seat, and apparently this train is going to be really packed. So if I'm not able to talk to you while on the train, I'll talk to you when we arrive in Neuchâtel. See you then. At 17:15 we depart on time for leg 7 and last of our train trip through Switzerland. If all goes well, it will take us 46 minutes to reach Neuchâtel, with one stop in Yverdon-les-Bains before our final stop.
So I didn't feel a single thing. My mind was occupied, man, I was on a high. I could run forever to get a minute, just a minute of your time. If this is what it's like, I could get used to late nights dancing my place. I could get used to long drives, cab rides, your place. I could get used to be fighting just for the hell of it, and you putting up with it, 'cause you let me to bits. Late nights dancing our place. I could get used to this. I thought it would scare me.
So here we are back in Neuchâtel, less than 12 hours after we left this morning. It's now 18 hours minus 3 minutes, so we made it in about 11 hours 30. I wanted to talk to you about the price of this trip, because many people say that Switzerland is expensive, and they are right, it is expensive. But train travel doesn't necessarily have to be expensive. there are lots of ways to get cheaper tickets. You just have to know where to look, because this trip would usually cost me around 260 Swiss francs if I paid full price for each of the trains that I rode today. But I have a Swiss Pass half fare card that allows me to have 50% discount in all train tickets. Besides that, I didn't even pay the half price of those tickets. I actually paid 69 francs for a day pass. And these day passes are available to anyone. It depends when you buy them, so the price depends when you buy them. If you buy them well in advance, they can be as cheap as 49 francs. So mine, I paid 69 francs because I only bought it yesterday. If I had bought it maybe 2 weeks ago, it would have been 49 francs for this whole day of traveling around Switzerland. I caught 7 trains. I visited, I don't know how many cantons. I visited 7 different places, and yeah, it was just an amazing day of travel. So if you want to know more about those prices and about Swiss passes, etc., let me know in the comments. I'll gladly make a video about it. And yeah, I just hope you enjoyed coming with me, get to know a little bit more of Switzerland, and really test the trains in Switzerland to see if they are really on time. And they really were. We didn't have one delay, and all I can think of, it's just amazing to be able to travel on a country like Switzerland. When you look at their rail system, you will see that it's really crowded and it's always busy. Trains everywhere at all times. So it's just amazing that they are able to arrange the train schedules, etc., to not have lots and lots of delays. I just find it amazing. So with that, I hope you enjoyed coming with me on this day trip, and I will see you next time. Oh, and don't forget, if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you enjoy these kind of videos, please subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.